Hi. So this video is for talking about our week 3 of Camp Healing Hearts 2021. This is about remembering and commemorating. So if you go in your guide, it should be in the second section there, remembering and commemorating. So with remembering and commemorating, you should see in here that first, hopefully you watched one of the videos of the books I mentioned. There was the Always Remember book, Badger's Parting Gifts, and Chester Raccoon and the Acorn Full of Memories. So it's okay if you didn't watch these. Maybe you had the chance to actually read them or own them. But either way, the books all talk about the importance of remembering. That's what this week is all about, in discussing and remembering our special person or people and or our animal or animals that have died. Thinking about those memories we have of them and trying to think of things that help us remember them. Things that we have around us every day. Maybe there's something that we do that person liked to do. Maybe there's a way we act or behave or have similar interests or like to do things that person or people did. So the next thing I'm going to have you do, and there's no right or wrong way to do this, is making a memory box. So you should have in your gift bag a plain white photo box, and my box has stuff in it, but yours would be empty and it would have been shrink wrapped. So the idea is that you can put in whatever you would like. So in this instance, you know, maybe you want to put in the little stones or pebbles that I had provided from your grief toolkit, maybe a stress ball. It doesn't have to be these types of things. Some people like to put inside of them items that belong to their special people or person. Some people like to put in things that remind them of that person. So I always say, think of your 5 senses. So is there something I see that I want to put in here that when I see it, I remember them? Is there something I want to put in here because when I hear it, it reminds me of them? Is there something I want to put in here because when I touch it, it reminds me of them? Is there something that I can put an image of, like say if they liked pizza or cookies or something like that? You could put a picture in there because you don't want to leave food in here because that's not a good idea, because it might draw some bugs out. But you can always put something in that's a picture of a food they liked, or maybe you want to draw a picture of them eating that favorite food. And also maybe there's something that makes you, when you smell it, reminds you of them. I've had some people tell me there was maybe a type of deodorant or some type of perfume that when they'd smell it remind them of them. Or some people put in a picture that reminds them. So maybe the person loved going to the ocean, and putting a picture of the ocean in reminds them of what that smells like, and how much that person loved the smell of the ocean air, or being out in the mountains in the mountain air. There's all different kinds of things. You don't have to put in anything if you don't want to. You don't have to put in something for each of the scents that I mentioned: smell, touch, taste, hear, and feel. Maybe you want to write letters. Maybe you want to write messages. Maybe you want to put in pictures. Maybe you want to give them cards. There's so many different ways you can use your box. And then in all the materials I provided, you're able to put in, decorate it however you want. You can put stickers, gems, you can draw on it, you can paint it. Somebody I worked with painted theirs. You might need to prime it first before you do that. But we like to give you the plain white photo box because that way you can do whatever you like with it. You can write your name on it, you can write their name on it, whichever you'd like. There is also a picture frame that we provided. It's just a plain wood frame, and you can decorate this as you like. Some people like to put in a picture of their loved one or a picture of something they like to do. Maybe they want to draw a picture. Maybe they want to leave it blank. That's perfectly fine. There's no right or wrong way to utilize this. And maybe you don't want to use it, and that's okay too. This is just another thing to have that you can hold, that you can see, that can be helpful to remind you about that special person, people, animal, or animals in your life that you have that are no longer with you because they have died. So those are the two main activities that were given to you. You also have your teddy bears, which if you give me 1 minute. So there's all different kinds of teddy bears that we provided. This is an example of one. And the idea of the teddy bear that we gave you, which does go along, if you wanted to watch it, the Ida Always book. The idea of the bear is, again, another thing to have, to hold, something that can feel and touch, can remind you of your special person, people, and or your animals that you had in your life. But a lot of people find that the teddy bear can be helpful. Some people like to make things for their teddy bear. I've had some people that make like a name tag for it, maybe make a little hat. There's a lot of different things you can do to even personalize your bear more if you want to. But a lot of people find that just, holding your teddy bear can be very comforting. And there's nothing wrong with that. And the nice thing with having this at your home is you can do that when you want to. It's something for yourself that might be helpful and comforting. Just like I talked about in the one book, The Rabbit Listened, about how on the back of the book it says sometimes hugs say more than words. So sometimes just having the ability to hug something that might remind you of that loved person can be helpful. So I hope everything that we provided for you is helpful. There may be other ideas of things that you like to do that are activities you might be able to do to help you remember your special person. So hopefully you'll have worked on this before we meet. For week 3, the idea is that when we meet this week is to be able to share your box if you want to, or ideas of what to do with your box and picture. Also a chance to share any memories you'd like to of your special person. Maybe there's things that you did together or a special trip or just something that you miss about them so much. So that's what we'll do during this week. Just wanted to let you know that. And that's what I have this week for remembering and commemorating.